Mod authors are quitting. We just talked recently how big changes are coming to Fallout 4 and Skyrim mods, and even Fallout New Vegas and Fallout 3 mods to a lesser degree. This all based around the most popular modding site with Nexus mods, and in this video I want to go over some updates on the situation. More updates around what Nexus is doing, but also news around mod authors leaving permanently and many new mod sites or sources for mods popping up. And it's not like it's just a couple of fringe mods here or there. Some of my favorite mods are no longer on Nexus or no longer getting updated on Nexus. I have timestamps down below for all of the major sections, but I think it's important first to go over, recap what happened already in case you missed my last video. But simply put, what's happening here is the largest mod hosting site with Nexus mods is adding in a mod collection feature, which are effectively mod packs. With one click, you'll be able to download and have a fully modded experience in Fallout 4, Skyrim, Fallout 3, New Vegas, and even things like The Witcher to a lesser degree. So mod collections aren't actually out yet, but in the process of rolling this out, without warning one day, they actually removed the ability for mod authors to delete their mods fully. So rather, what mod authors were able to do were kind of hide or delete their mod page, but there still be an archive version of their actual mod download left available. Nexus argued this was imperative for mod collections to actually work, because if a mod author deletes their mods, and that mod was a cornerstone to the overall pack, that would lead to the whole pack falling apart. And even further, mod authors do not have the ability to opt out of collections. And again, I want to emphasize here, one of the big issues with all of this was kind of the lack of communication. It was just one day you no longer could fully delete your mods. There's no forewarning or any kind of heads up or even an announcement until a week later. And even further, another lesser part of this whole issue is to really get that true and proper one-click download, you need to have Nexus Premium, which does cost money and gives you a variety of benefits. You could actually have better download locations, download multiple files at once, have uncapped download speeds, no ads on the website, and one of the big new features, and perhaps one of the biggest new features, are access to this one-click download for mod packs or mod collections. So naturally, all of this did frustrate mod authors. In particular, this was always going to be a delicate issue, and the way Nexus kind of just sprung it up one day, a lot of mod authors were pretty upset with their loss of autonomy, not actually having full control over their mods right now. While this is definitely going to be a system where Nexus is making quite a bit of money. And I think to summarize many of the mod authors' issues, they don't necessarily have an issue with mod packs or mod collections overall, but rather Nexus's specific handling and their lack of communication or really any back and forth. So that is what happened. But since then, we have some updates on multiple fronts with this. One of the first things is actually changes around Nexus Premium. So Nexus Premium, again, is required if you want that true to form one-click download for mod packs, and it's getting a price increase. So the price will go from £3 to £5 per month, and the yearly price from around £25 to about £50 per year. And perhaps one of the biggest changes with this is the lifetime premium that you can buy. So like I bought premium, it was just a one-time payment and I have it for a lifetime, is being completely removed. So a regular user cannot go into the store and buy that anymore starting on August 3rd. Although if you already purchased it, it will be grandfathered in. So if you think this is something you're going to actively use or just continue using Nexus, it might be a good time to actually pick that up. So on one front, this really isn't that crazy. This is in fact the first price change to premium in 8 years for the website, so they've kind of had the same prices for a long time. And of course, each day they're hosting more and more mods. It's not like the website's getting any smaller or less popular, but of course, to an extent, some mod authors are pretty frustrated about this. There was this line of thought and thinking that right now with this whole mod collection feature with Nexus, it's going to be a big revenue generation tool for them, and really at the core, it's generating revenue on a mod author's work. So you upload your mod to Nexus and then it's put in a collection, and a lot of people are going to subscribe to Premium to use the collection in the full way. And of course, in that process, Nexus is definitely making most of the money. Although mod authors can technically make some money from donation points, it's really not a huge amount. Even some of the most popular mods only make a couple of $100, if that. So then seeing Nexus also raise their price and remove their Premium membership was definitely pretty frustrating for some of these mod authors. As again, it really gets down to that feeling of their work being monetized and them not really getting a cut of the pay. At the end of the day, the vast majority of mod authors are doing a lot of work and putting a lot of effort into mods for little to no compensation. And it definitely seems like Nexus knew this wouldn't go over well, because on the post announcing the premium price changes, they actually just disabled comments altogether. And over the course of July in general, what we've actually been seeing is quite a bit in the way of mods getting deleted or abandoned on Nexus. So though technically at first, as we mentioned before, mod deletion deletion was not allowed. It was a removed feature from the website. Nexus was gracious enough to allow mod authors to request to have all of their mods deleted. At first, this was an all or nothing form you had to fill out, so if you wanted basically everything gone, you could do that. Later on, they updated the form to allow mod authors to request individual mods of theirs to be deleted, and it wasn't all or nothing. And this will last for a little bit longer into August, but we've definitely been seeing some accounts take advantage of this and kind of wiping their account on the platform overall. But even further, something that is actually becoming quite a bit more popular, and several are taking this stance, is not actually deleting their mods because they don't want to punish the community or remove stuff that's already uploaded, but abandoning their mods in a sense, or leaving their mods in a legacy mode on Nexus, wherein mod authors are going to leave their current versions up, but no future mods will be posted on the website and no additional updates will be posted on the website, rather than moving off platform to actually host their mods and update their mods somewhere else. And there are quite a few big mods impacted by this. One of the big names is Stavetskaya Trooper. I've covered a ton of his mods on this channel, so things like the Natural Bundle, which I literally just talked about, but also things like Desperado's Overhaul, which is a really good mod and really core to getting that New Vegas feel or vibe in Fallout 4. Crime and Punishment and Gun for Hire are two really unique mods that add in some pretty interesting mechanics, whether it be around prisoners or crime in general in the game, and also a full-on mercenary slash bounty system into Fallout 4, so you can do repeated jobs and build up a reputation and basically a little business outside of Diamond City. Both of those will remain on Nexus, but future updates and future versions will not be hosted on Nexus. SKK50's mods, which there are a ton of, are also getting this treatment. I've covered stuff like Synthetic Player, which almost gives you an alternate way to start off and play through Fallout 4 as a synth agent. It's actually a really fun one. The Random Encounter Manager, and even more. One of my personal favorites is the Pack Attack mod. This is probably the single best AI overhaul for Fallout 4. It impacts enemies, but there was also one that impacted companions that was just recently released. They're now getting updates from the mod author's website, so you have to go there to download them directly. And perhaps one of the most notable groups that is actually going to be doing this is the Fallout 3 remake mod. Over the past couple of years, they've released an absolute mountain of content on Nexus between weapons, NPCs, armors, and more. So all of that content will still be there, but future releases and even potential updates will be elsewhere. And this is actually, I think, going to be a pretty big one in that they are kind of finalizing things on their Point Lookout DLC. The team basically remade the entire Point Lookout DLC for Fallout 4. It's going to be many people's first glimpse at one of these remake mods, and it's a comprehensive and amazing experience. I played it and made a video on it a few months ago. It's really something special, and of course, due to these new changes by them, they will not be uploading that to Nexus. I imagine it's going to get a ton of mainstream press and coverage, and the fact that it isn't on Nexus will likely come up during that time. For me, it seems like one of the big mods on the horizon that's going to draw a ton of attention and not on Nexus. But of course, that's only one half of this. There's also some mods that are just straight up gone altogether. EMB Lights Overhaul, as well as the Weapon Jiggle Fix, the MP40 mod, as well as Icaros Androids, many of Ice Storm's mods, such as the GRL45, as well as the Modern Warfare Sentry Turret. And this is not by any means a comprehensive list by me. There's actually a maintained document going over some of the removed mods, as well as new places you could download them. I'll have a link to this down below. But even further, I'm only talking about Fallout 4 here. This is affecting other things like New Vegas to a lesser degree, but also Skyrim and Skyrim Special Edition are definitely hit by this. I just haven't been following it quite as closely on that side. As far as where some of the mods are going, I think the biggest portion is mod authors heading to Discord, at least right now, because it's a quick and easy solution. Some of these mods have simply not been re-uploaded anywhere else at all, but some Discords have popped up almost as a haven for modders, a ton of modders all going there, and it kind of being a collective hosting platform. There's some mod authors that are just hosting things on their own Discord or websites, as I mentioned, or even some people moving over to ModDB, AFK Mods, Lovers Lab, or even CurseForge has popped up somewhat. They just started supporting Fallout in wake of all of this, which is very convenient, but there hasn't been a ton of mods posted there yet. As far as these deletions and removals overall, things have definitely slowed down towards the end of this month, but I don't think this is the end. I imagine once mod collections actually come out, there'll be another wave of people just not interested in participating on Nexus anymore. Thus far, all of this has been around a feature that's not even here yet, and I think there's definitely going to be more drama and more of a back and forth once the feature actually gets implemented and people start using it on a larger scale. And that's definitely relevant here. Like mods like Pack Attack, I basically basically always want in a mod list. That being removed from Nexus is definitely a big hit to the mod packs overall, although the vast majority of those kind of core or cornerstone mods for most players, like the unofficial patch, are still there. Although one of the other important things to highlight with all of this is there really haven't been any concessions by Nexus in the interim on this. Nexus kind of said, hey, this is what we're doing. You can no longer delete your mods, or you could request to delete them with a form until this date, and really not much has changed. They've kind of stuck to that, and even though mod authors many times have said, well, what about this change, or can you do this thing? Nexus hasn't done anything. Technically, the only change they've made is they made it so you don't have to nuke your account completely, but can request to have individual mods deleted. As far as my take on this, I still think a lot of the fault falls on Nexus. I think their handling of this situation is just absolutely horrible. I think mod packs are going to be a massive boon for Fallout 4. It's going to be a really great addition to the game and the modding scene overall. I saw it get added to Minecraft, and I was actually pretty active in the modding scene and making YouTube videos on it with Minecraft, and it was amazing. I think it could do similar things for Fallout 4, but things like not letting mod authors opt out, as well as just one day springing on the no deletion policy, was just bad. This was always going to be a controversial topic, and as I mentioned in my last video, the way Nexus is communicating and handling this overall just does feel a little bit shady. I think simply allowing users to opt out would have actually avoided a lot of this drama, or even giving people a heads up like, hey, we're going to make it so you can't delete your mods in a couple of months, and have kind of a run up to that so people can freely delete their mods if they wanted to. Leaving that autonomy to the mod authors probably would have had a lot of people not deleting their mods, not opting out, but they would have felt better and not been removing their mods now because they have that choice. And I definitely can see both sides of this one. On one hand, I totally get the mod author's perspective. A lot of these guys are putting in basically a full-time job amount of work into their mods for no compensation, and then to also kind of lose that sense of autonomy of your project isn't going to feel good. I definitely understand why users want to get off the platform when that change is starting to get enacted, but at the same time, again, I am a huge fan of mod packs. I think it's going to be massive. I'm very excited on a personal level for these, and at least thus far, I guess it's just going to be a situation where there's some casualties along the way, but Nexus is still full steam ahead on this. We'll of course see how this continues to evolve in the future, if anybody comes back, or if Nexus does decide to allow some kind of opt-out or has more communication or something else going forward. But either way, that's a current update on the situation, why some of your favorite mods may start getting removed or just might be missing already. Technically, we still don't even know when mod collections are coming, but I'll definitely keep you up to date with all of this. As always, again, I thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you all next time. Later.